In a year that saw war in the South Atlantic, 1982 was a year of momentous happenings. While it was the story of a hero from an earlier war that saw Britain's top award for fiction go to Australian author Thomas Keneally. The Booker Prize was awarded to Keneally for Schindler's Ark, which was about a German industrialist who saved thousands of Jews from the Nazis during World War II. The book was based on interviews with the survivors and was said to be 9/10 fact. Keneally received the award at a ceremony in London, but apart from the prize money, he was assured that the book would be a bestseller.
It's the story about an extraordinary, picturesque German who ran a slave labor camp in Poland, a benign slave labor camp. I know it sounds like Hogan's Heroes, but it's the truth. It's extremely well documented.
1982 was a year that saw the deaths of two greats of the silver screen. The fairy tale story of a former Hollywood star, Princess Grace of Monaco, came to an end when the car she was driving crashed off the road in the south of France. And Ingrid Bergman died on her 67th birthday in London, England, following a long battle with breast cancer. Family and friends, including her two daughters, Pia Lindstrom and Isabella Rossellini, attended the memorial service for Bergman that was held at St. Martin-in-the-Fields. Also in 1982, the Soviet President Leonid Brezhnev succumbed to a heart attack at the age of 75. Brezhnev was the political leader of the USSR from 1964 to 1982, serving in that position longer than anyone other than Joseph Stalin. The Brezhnev years are notable for his willingness to appear to attend to affairs on the world arena, whilst actually ignoring obvious reforms needed at home. In the West, hope was held for change under a new leadership.
There must exist the possibility that under a new leadership there could be a change of one kind or another. And as far as we're concerned, I'm sure the right thing to do is to work for a more constructive relationship. We want to see a much more positive reaction in the arms control talks, for instance, where the West very much wants to see progress being made. The Russians say they want progress, but nothing has happened so far to indicate that they really mean what they say. So we'll have to wait and see. But our attitude to it, and the message I will take to them, is that we want to see arms control at a much lower level. We want to see détente fulfilled in word, in deed, and not only in word. And we also want to see, of course, a different attitude over human rights.
While the world was focusing on events in the Northern Hemisphere, the military government of Argentina invaded the British-held islands of the Falklands. And the world watched in horror as war came to the South Atlantic. While war was not actually declared by either side, the initial invasion was considered by Argentina as the reoccupation of its own territory, and by Britain as an invasion of a British overseas territory. The British government announced a successful major landing on the Falkland Islands on May the 21st, 7 weeks after the Argentine capture of the disputed territories.
During the night, several landings and raids were made by our forces in different parts of the Falkland Islands. Some of these forces have remained ashore. Argentine forces have suffered casualties, and some prisoners have been taken. These operations continue.
But it was not until June the 14th that the Argentinians agreed to a formal surrender. In international rivalry of a more peaceful kind, Italian fans celebrated on the streets of Rome after their team's win at the 12th staging of the FIFA World Cup. The final was an anticlimactic, one-sided affair between an inspired Italy who scored 3 goals to the tired West Germans 1. Nevertheless, the Italian fans were happy that their team was bringing home their first World Cup in 40 years, with celebrations continuing well into the night. 1982, a year that saw nations at war and a change of leadership in the USSR, was truly a year of momentous happenings.